is Lucas Spielberg.
And this is Ashton Spears.
And we definitely watch WGS-TV. We're going to own it. Definitely going to own it.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, really. Respect my veteran!
Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on Spreaker.com and YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and Zembanks TV. The first review of 2015, and guys and gals, I just want to wish everyone a safe and happy new year for 2015 and make sure it's a good one for you guys as well. We're going to be talking about NXT from last night on New Year's Day, and joining me on the review this week, guys and gals, we know him as the hardcore host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, which will be coming back next week, if I'm not mistaken, the hardcore host himself, Rick Head. Rick, how you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. HW has been taking a much-needed vacation, and yes, we will be back this week.
Well, anyway, let's get this review up and rolling by talking about the opening matchup, Lucha Dragons taking on Ty Dillinger and Jason Jordan. And my only really... There's only like one real bad thing to talk about this match, and that was the fact that it was a Sin Cara botch. Now, he's not botching as much as he used to. And Rick, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because Sin Cara was a botch machine. But the only botch that really really irked me a little bit was the head scissor takeover he did to Ty Dillinger, you know, and it even got to the point where even the crowd was acknowledging that he effed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you know what? I think what this is, Sin Cara, like 3.0, so you got to give the guy a little bit of credit. Yeah, he's been doing a lot better since going to NXT, and he's been doing much better, especially since he's come on with the Lucha, you know, this Lucha tag team, and it's really a lot better, and hopefully they'll be coming up to the WWE roster, because they are starting to getting a lot of tag teams, and I'd like to see what they can do.
Yeah, definitely, too. Lucha Dragons would get the win with Sin Cara doing a victory roll off the top rope, and then out would come the Vaudevillians to kind of beat them down and kind of add to the storyline in a sense. You know, we just had them, you know, once before. It's just, you know, as a tag team match, you know, for the championship, and there's really not that much to the angle, not much to the build between Lucha Dragons and Vaudevillians, and I think by having them go out there and have them beat down Sin Cara and Kalisto like that can really add to the feud, and especially for when they have their rematch. So I'm really looking forward to see what they do for that one as well, and hopefully maybe we'll see them perhaps with the NXT Tag Team Championship. Carmella and Blue Pants. I don't know what to say about this one, Rick.
I do. I have to say, who the fuck is Blue Pants? That's all I saw. I saw them. I didn't even know who it was. Now, I have to admit, I'm still very new to the NXT product, which since our evolution, I've been very impressed with the product. I've been watching it, and I even went back and watched a couple of weeks even before that just to catch up. And I don't even know who the hell she was.
Yeah, but apparently she's got her own fan base in the NXT. Everybody was chanting for her to come out, and lo and behold, and she did. And now the finish of the match, it leaves my head scratching in a sense. Now, if you guys remember a couple of weeks ago on NXT when Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy took on the Ascension, it was Enzo being distracted by Carmella, who was not really paying attention to the match, and ended up costing them the victory against the Ascension. This was kind of along the same vein. Carmella was distracted by Enzo Amore, who was apparently doing a tap dance or something on the ring apron. I have no idea, you know, how much. Whoever's feeding him sugar needs to stop that. That's what I'm going to say about Enzo Amore. But she ended up being distracted by Carmella. Blue Pants would take advantage and get the small package pin to get the victory. And Carmella just comes unglued on Enzo Amore, and I feel bad for the dude, but I gotta say this. One of the things that I've done is I've started up a blog on Tumblr, and Rick, I'm gonna tell you, up and down last night, as soon as that happened on NXT, there was just meme after meme after meme after drawing of that look that Enzo Amore had on his face when Carmella got beat by Blue Pants. And I gotta say, it was kind of funny.
Yeah, some of the looks that guy has are priceless. You know, so you gotta send him my way.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, and you know, I'm really looking forward to when they put Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy on the main roster. Now, C.J. Parker and Baron Corbin, you know, it was what I expected it to be. It was a 30-second match with Baron Corbin hitting at least 2 moves. At least we saw the snake eyes out of him before he would hit the end of days to pick up the win. And then Bull Dempsey was staring him down at ringside, and then Corbin would actually get on the microphone and actually cut a small promo. Didn't sound really enthusiastic. I think it was kind of like monotone and you know, I think they need to work his mic skills up just a little bit. But it was just, it was something that fans have been wanting to see for a long time, because, Rick, for the longest time, we've just seen, you know, them eyeballing each other when they come out, you know, trying to one-up each other, and sometimes a shoulder bump and then a shove, and then finally, last night at NXT, we see a full frontal confrontation between Corbin and Dempsey, and this thing is just, they've been escalating and escalating and escalating this angle, and I tell you, when they finally collide, Rick, in a match, it'll definitely be something worth watching.
You know, I do have to agree with you there. And what happened on NXT, you know, they should, you know, there was, you know, some back and forth. It wasn't definitely going to be it wasn't a little squash match. And when they do fight, you know, I don't think it's going to be a squash match. And who's going to win on this one? It's going to escalate their career. It's going to push their career even further. And I think that's what they're really trying to do here. I think because they know that both these guys are, you know, the 2 of the top guys in NXT, and they want to see what they can do with this, and I think that's why they're really pushing it, like this, making this slow build. Excuse me, so to speak, if I can get the words out of my mouth properly. And I think they're doing it right. You know, I know that you haven't been liking the squash matches that they've been doing with Corbin, but I think in the end it'll pay off.
Yeah, you know, you always got to figure that they got a big payoff when it comes to when they're working an angle like that, especially with Baron Corbin. I will say this, though. If they have Corbin squash Bull Dempsey in their match, it'll hurt both of them.
I agree.
Because Corbin would then be considered to be an over-the-top gimmick, a Goldberg type of gimmick, if you guys think about it. And then also to have a guy like Bull Dempsey, who's technically a monster in your brand, who's well over 300 pounds and used to beating people up, and have him get squashed in about 30 seconds, that really makes him look weak, in my opinion. So if they have Corbin squash Dempsey in their match in less than 30 seconds, it hurts both of them, in my opinion. You know, it doesn't improve Corbin, it hurts. You know, but following that, we would have William Regal backstage announcing 2 things. One, that Sami Zayn was going to return next week to address the Kevin Owens situation and what happened with Adrian Neville. And then Curtis Axel has finally been granted another chance in NXT and will be taking on Hideo Itami. Now, Rick, I know that you've never really been the biggest fan of Curtis Axel, but I think every guy deserves possibly a third chance, in a sense, because this is really his third chance, and if they really can't do anything with them, you know, despite his lineage being the son of the late great Mr. Perfect, Curt Hennig, they're going to have to let this kid go, because what has he really done?
You know, nothing. And, you know, when he came up to, you know, the WWE, he started beating people like Triple H and John Cena the way he did. I called him the Fluke. And people were hating me over an HWR for that, because I'm like, you know, they pushed him way too hard, too fast, and that's a mistake. You can't do that. And that's a you know, so, and you know, if they do that again with him, with this guy Hideo Itami, it's gonna be another mistake. You know, he's gonna have to start way at the bottom, stay there for a long, long time, and build his way up. You know, just because his father was Mr. Perfect doesn't mean he's better than Perfect, because guess what? Mr. Perfect started from the bottom, and he worked his way up to perfection. It took years and years to earn that name. Just because your father was Mr. Perfect does not give you the right to ride the coattails.
One of the last AWA champions of that era is Curt Hennig. So, he's got the lineage, but, it's not just lineage that, that makes it in the wrestling industry. You have to make it for yourself as well. Now, Charlotte would be in the ring to cut a promo about who her future opponent would be when it comes to the NXT Women's Championship, and mention that she's already beaten Sasha Banks twice. Well, I counted 3 times in a sense. If you think about it, she won at our Evolution, she won the rematch on Christmas Day, and then this week on Main Event when they opened up the show, and that was a damn good match between Charlotte and Sasha Banks on there. And I even said it on the Main Event review. The crowd was into it, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought that was good. So that's 3 for me, in my opinion. But the boss and Becky Lynch would come out and saying, you know what, all of that stuff doesn't matter because you're about to get the worst beating of your life. And then Natalya's music would hit and come in to even up the odds. Rick, are your Teddy Long senses tingling? Do you sense what I'm sensing for next week?
Yeah, and I do, and I think that it's going to be Natalya. I'm not sure if it's really good, but unfortunately Natalya's been the redheaded stepchild of the WWE, unfortunately, so, she's gotten her ass beat throughout the WWE. Why? I don't know. I don't know what it is that she's done wrong that, Vince, for some reason, sees that to not only get beat down by the WWE roster, but now to get beat down in the NXT roster. It's just, I'm sorry. I think that she's one of the true talented divas in the WWE, yet they just don't want to give her any real recognition.
Well, time will tell us to what they do, when they actually book the tag match. And, and because the way they played it off, they played it off. I mean, they have Natalya and Charlotte in the ring staring down the boss and Becky Lynch, and they were just backing up in typical heel fashion, which would lead everyone to believe that they're going to book a tag match with them next week. So only time will tell us to, where they go with that. And finally, the main event of NXT, the Ascension taking on Hideo Itami and Finn Balor. There are a few things that we took away from this match. One, that this was possibly the Ascension's send-off because of the fact that they made their debut on Monday Night Raw, beating down Damian Mizdow and The Miz on Monday Night Raw. And secondly, now, a lot of people, even yours truly, was really expecting to see Finn Balor come out in the Prince Devitt makeup. They even had that beginning opening from our Evolution, with the heartbeat and everything like that. But yet he came out without the face and body paint, which would then signify to everybody, including myself and Rick. I don't know if you took this away as well, but this is what I took from it, is the fact that apparently only on special occasions we will only on those type of occasions we will see the Prince Devitt face and body paint on Finn Balor. I think a lot of fans were halfway expecting to see him come out with that and make that a permanent part of his gimmick, but apparently WWE doesn't feel the same way as we do when it comes to the face and body paint of Finn Balor. So apparently from now it's just only on special occasions. Rick, do you agree with that move?
No, I tend to disagree. I know that you suggested that that's what they might do, and I think it's a big mistake because, look at wrestlers like Sting. We're going to, the icon. He comes out every match in his face paint. Look at Goldust and Stardust. They come out every match in their face paint. To take Goldust and Stardust out in there, for them to come out, okay, I'm just going to come out in our regular, gear without our face paint, what would that do for them?
Nothing, to be honest. And I do understand the point you're getting at when it comes to that. Another thing to take away is the moment that Hideo Itami hits the GTS on anybody in NXT, because he's the originator of it. Punk didn't originate the go to sleep maneuver. It was Hideo Itami in Japan. He's the one who innovated that move. And the moment he hits that on anybody in NXT, Rick, it is safe to say that that place is going to come unglued. Because if you think about it, I mean, the last two times, especially from our Evolution and what happened last night, you know, the setup for the GTS beat. And then the second that he hits it on anybody, that crowd is just going to lose it. Because I think a lot of fans consider that Hideo Itami's GTS is the original and not CM Punk's. I'm pretty sure Phil Brooks would have something to say about that, but yeah, anyway, that's for another time and another place. It is now time to go into our overall scores and our picks for best and worst match or segment of NXT this week. NXT is really, like I've said before, many a time, the saving grace of WWE. The product that's actually worth watching right now in the company, because right now the main roster is CRAP, crap. I gotta say, I'm really looking forward. They even did a little thing with Kevin Owens and Renee Young. Renee Young asked her why did he steal Sami Zayn's moment, and Kevin Owens said, "You know what? If you think I stole Zayn's moment, this interview is over," and walked off. So again, really not much to go on when it comes to that angle. But overall, the show was really good. I got to go to the tag match, the Ascension and Finn Balor and Hideo Itami for best match of the night. And like I said, it was, in my mind, possibly the send-off for the Ascension, as now they've debuted on the main roster, and they're going to be on the main roster now. Again, like I said before, the second Hideo Itami hits GTS on anybody in NXT, the crowd will lose their minds, because that's how dedicated the fans are for NXT. Worst match of the night, even though we did kind of critically analyze it in a sense, and in a sense, yeah, it does help to build up Corbin the way they're doing him by having him do only squash matches. It's kind of formulaic from what they did in the 1980s, you know, where they would have the big superstars just go out there and squash the jobbers, and that's kind of the way they're playing it right now with Baron Corbin. But like I've said, if they have Corbin squash Bull Dempsey in less than 30 seconds, it hurts both characters. It hurts both gimmicks, in my opinion. But being it that, again, it was still another 30-second match, and I still think Corbin needs to work on his mic skills. Even though this is probably his first real promo in the ring on the mic, I'll cut him a little slack. Just a little bit. But I still want to see more than just 30-second matches out of Baron Corbin. So that's why I have to give that worst match of the night, because I still... What have we seen out of Baron Corbin? One move, two moves? He probably debuts a move a week to add to his move set, and then we see end of days and Baron Corbin wins. That, you know, that really kind of irks me a little bit. You know, we're not in the 1980s anymore. You know, then again, that's just my take. NXT is going to get a 3.5 out of 5. Rick, over to you. What's your overall score and your picks for best and worst match or segment of NXT this week? Hello, Rick. Okay, well, look, well, Rick is having a little bit of technical difficulties. We do apologize about that. But anyway, guys and gals, what we want to know now from you guys out there, as we hopefully await Rick to fix his errors. Are you saying he'll be back in just a second? So I do apologize about that. But again, guys and gals, what we want to know now from you guys out there, your thoughts on NXT this week. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of NXT this week? And definitely what your thoughts about Hideo Itami and now Finn Balor, who will now only have the face and body paint on special occasions from the way it looks. Your reactions to Natalya coming out to helping Charlotte. You know, your thoughts about Kevin Owens walking out on Renee Young's interview. We want to definitely know what you guys out there think. Be sure you put your comments in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Rick, are you back? Are you with us? And apparently that's a no. But for Rick, make sure you guys check him out on youtube.com/HWR Show, soundcloud.com/HWR Show. He's also on Facebook, facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. So be sure you guys check him out on there. If you're listening on Spreaker.com right now, be sure you hit that follow button. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/WGS-TV. And don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer and youtube.com/ZFXTV Network if you haven't already. So for the hardcore host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Rick Head, I'm the Wrestle Gamer, Dylan Bujo, saying thanks for tuning in.